From the Dracula-inspired collar and muscle car straight out of the Fast and the Furious, to the Riddler who's inspired by the Zodiac Killer. The Batman is shaping up to be unlike any other Batman movie before it. One look at Pattinson's suit and it's evident that this is a much different take on the Caped Crusader. The cowl itself looks very simple and easy to put on and take off, much like Adam West's mask from back in the day. Okay, maybe not exactly like that, but it isn't too tight on the face and appears to allow for more fluid neck movement, which kinda makes sense if you need to turn your head while knocking the snot out of bad guys. Also, the cape's collar is a nice touch, since it gives Batman more of a Dracula look. And who isn't scared of vampires in the middle of the night? However, the most interesting part of the suit is undoubtedly the fact that it's bulletproof. In the trailer, you see a bunch of peeps unloading ammo on the Bat, but he doesn't even flinch. The bullets bounce off of him as if they're nothing, and you have to wonder if it's some kind of special Kevlar upgrade that's been fitted to the material. And pay attention to the Bat symbol on the chest as well, since that's literally the handles of a gun forming the shape of a bat. In all likelihood, this is the same weapon that killed Thomas and Martha Wayne, and Bruce is now using it as the very symbol to fight crime. And speaking of symbols, what about that bat signal we saw in the trailer? In the past, this signal would be used by the GCPD, namely Jim Gordon, to call for Batman's help. But now, its meaning is something else. Something more menacing and dark. As Pattinson reveals in the trailer, fear is a tool. When that light hits the sky, it's not just a call, it's a warning. Now, we know how Batman likes to strike fear into the hearts of criminals through his disguise, but this is quite a unique approach to the bat signal. Instead of it being used as his calling card, it's almost like a blaring klaxon, warning Gotham's criminals that he's on his way to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And he's all out of bubblegum. At this point in the story, it must mean that the GCPD is now working closely with the Bat and accepted that it can't handle crime on its own. So as soon as the switch is flipped, the evildoers will wonder if he's coming for them or someone else. You know, Gotham City really does seem like hell on earth. Why would anyone want to willingly stay there? To get to the bat signal though, the Dark Knight will need to move fast. Thankfully, he doesn't have an ugly tumbler or car with such a low suspension that'll crack over the first speed bump. Instead, this Batmobile is a souped-up muscle car with a few nifty accessories, looking like he could race the dudes from the Fast and the Furious and win. You'll witness the raw power and speed in the trailer as Batman chases down the Penguin in a wild fashion. This Batmobile still contains the jet booster at the back to get it to speeds of an F1 car, but its handling looks much better than what came before it. It actually looks like it can take a corner without flipping over.
I want a car. Chicks dig the car.
Also, this Batmobile makes sense in the context of a real-world setting because, think about it, wouldn't it be easier to trace the parts for the other vehicles, especially considering how unique they looked? Like the tumbler from The Dark Knight that was part of Wayne Industries' R&D division. That's a pretty dead giveaway, and surely a lot more people would have been familiar with it. This way, it's much harder to track who ordered the parts for a muscle car, since they're quite popular around the world. If Batman is truly the world's greatest detective, he'll know how to hide these types of things from prying eyes and curious minds, right? And now that we're talking about minds, there's no doubt in any of ours that the Riddler is the main antagonist of the movie. The first trailer hinted at his looming presence, and now it's all but confirmed. What's interesting is how this version of Edward Ashton will be much different from what we've seen before. He's unlikely to be the dancing, riddle-happy rogue like Jim Carrey portrayed in Batman Forever, or how fans remember him from the animated shows. Instead, expect a more cerebral and cunning villain who will take you to the brink with his deadly traps. In fact, the rumors suggest that the Riddler could be more like a combination of the Zodiac Killer and Jigsaw from the Saw movies than anything else.
Hello. Do you want to play a game?
If this proves to be true, it'll be a drastic reinvention that'll suit the character for a more modern audience. Judging by what we've seen so far, he looks set to be one of the more terrifying adversaries that Batman has ever faced. Who needs the Joker when the Riddler is at his best, right? But the old Quizmaster won't be alone here, as the Penguin is set to play a part in this movie too. Normally in the comics and TV shows, they've been paired together as friends, or at least on friendly terms. However, it's still unknown if the two will be friends or foes pose here. One thing that is evident is that this is a much different version of the Penguin than what we've seen before. While the mobster aspect was explored in the Gotham TV show, it seems like the film is leaning more into this characteristic now. Oswald Cobblepot seems like he'd fit right into Goodfellas or The Godfather without blinking an eye. Heck, he even sounds like Robert De Niro at one point in the trailer.
No! I got you!
More importantly, it appears as if the Penguin will be more of a nickname based on his appearance than an actual supervillain nickname. He doesn't walk funny from what we can see, nor is he mutated. So he just seems like a regular guy who was given a horrible nickname by the people who deal with him. Again, this is far more grounded in reality, which is something the film is obviously aiming for. Though we do hope his special umbrellas make an appearance here, since they're too good to be ignored. But now we need to go back to the star of the show, Batman. Paying close attention to the trailer, it's clear that this version of the Dark Knight seems far more tortured than the previous iterations. At one point, Bruce even tells Alfred that he doesn't care what happens to him. It's an interesting take, since there have been reports that this adaptation will see a much more unhinged and aggressive Batman. He seems to like dishing out excessive beatings to criminals, so you have to wonder how much anger plays a part in his whole shtick. Of course, the big debate is, will this Batman kill? Many fans believe it's the ultimate no-no when it comes to the character's moral compass, but it's never stopped filmmakers in the past. Maybe this version of the character stops before the pivotal point and just sends the criminals to the emergency room with brain damage, broken bones, and bruised kidneys. And if they die there, well, YOLO, not his problem.
This guy's crazy!
What does appear to be an issue, though, is the Wayne family history. Piecing together the clues from the trailers, it seems like the Waynes aren't quite the benevolent and loving first family of Gotham that we all know from the lore. There's something else bubbling beneath the surface, and it looks like it's the Riddler who is ready to expose it to the world. This angle has been previously explored in the Batman Telltale games, where it was revealed that Thomas Wayne had ties to the mob. However, it's still uncertain what the exact deal is here. Whatever it is, there's definitely some hidden secret that Bruce is finding out about his family for perhaps the first time. The question is, will it turn his world upside down or be the fuel to become better than them? If you're still craving a little more vengeance of the funny kind, then check out our video about all the hilarious Justice League bloopers. And while you're at it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching and stay awesome.